by the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Today we walk the path of the dove and serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Virgo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got the universe card, or the world card, as our first card, the station, right? And this is your kind of sense of self, right? This is the general vibe. This is kind of how we are experiencing ourselves when we kind of go to bed at night, you know? And maybe we're feeling a little bit isolated. Maybe we're feeling like the world is a little bit cold and lonely right now. Okay. Maybe this is a card that's saying we're looking for some kind of a, almost a sense of purpose, but we're looking to fit in somewhere. We're trying to discover where's our niche in the world, you know? Where do I really belong? Maybe you kind of feel like you are a traveler of both time and space, and we're not really finding the connections. It's kind of, this is almost a cold and lonely card. You know, in the vastness of space, right? It kind of feels like the distance between stars is very great. Maybe this is us feeling like something's getting ready to happen, but it feels like it's been taking a long time to get here, you know? Something is light years away, and so it takes a long time to travel those great distances. This is a card sometimes of a need for patience. Yeah, we're traveling this long distance here. So it may be that you've been waiting for something. Maybe we're not sure what we've been waiting for. Maybe we don't know really what is driving us. Maybe we don't know what the sort of conclusion of things looks like. Yeah. Sometimes this card is asking us, where is our attention fixed? Maybe we feel like we're drifting. We don't know where our attention is fixed. This card's also asking us, what is our experience of reality? What is shaping that version of our personal reality right now? So let's look at this card a little bit deeper. Let's use the Dove and Serpent spread. And we have the Eon, Judgment, a Rebirth, a Reawakening, a Baptism by Fire. We have a Three of Swords. We have a Knight of Wands, a Prince of Pentacles, a Three of Pentacles. Very good. Over here, we have the Fool. We have a Seven of Pentacles. We have a Five of Wands and the Eight of Cups. Now, the Fool, I think, fits in quite nicely with our current interpretation, right? Because the Fool is kind of wandering around in the universe, trying to find their way. Maybe we feel like we're the Fool and we're sort of drifting through time and space, and we don't really know what the goal is, you know, like why we're here, what we're really pursuing, and maybe that's what we're here to discover. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. All right. Now, as we look around the room, we see three major arcana energies. And these are all really like, it's kind of cards of ending or conclusions. This is a card of beginning a new chapter, and this is a card of, obviously, of beginning a new quest, right? Feeling that we are sort of free of something and we're ready for the next adventure, okay? We've got fire and fire, we have a little bit of water, we've got a little bit of air, and we've got earth and earth here. So the fire cards really are interesting, especially with this baptism by fire that we have right in the middle. This, of course, is position 2. It's the battlefield, right? The personal task or quest, and this is putting an ending to the past and getting on with the future. Okay? This is a situation in your life where we're being asked to take a decisive step to go through a doorway. And maybe this is, something that we've been procrastinating over, something that's been kind of a long time coming. We haven't taken the steps to realize this yet. Maybe we feel like we don't know really where we're going, like we're in a spaceship and we're just we're traveling through time and space, drifting around, and we just haven't settled on a destination yet. Maybe this card is saying we need to sort of get to it. We need to settle on a destination and figure out who we want to be, where we want to be, what we want to be doing. Okay? And then we make that decisive step. We take the action that we need. Okay? And we close the old chapter, we start the new chapter. So this is a card that's inviting us to grow and expand. Okay? It's a card that says it's time for a change. This is a divine doorway. I feel like there is a major change happening for you right now. I think there is kind of an ending and a beginning that's taking place. Maybe it's an ending of the feeling of being lost. It's the end of just kind of like drifting around. Maybe it's the end of our fool era, right? Where we kind of are not really having a direction, but not really needing one either. Maybe this is now saying, okay, I'm kind of coming into my own identity now. This is a divine doorway. Let's do a divine doorway oracle card before we go any further. Here we have a note on love. Seek different seasons and enter into the unknown when love is the focus, foundation, and goal. Blessed is the body, mind, and soul. Love is the focus. Okay, that's very interesting. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily mean romantic love, so put your pitchforks away. It could, though. The idea, I think, is that we are figuring out what our love is really all about. What is it that we want to become, right? What do we love maybe more than anything else? What are we choosing, right? The Eon card is a choice. This is a choice of waking up to our authentic life, waking up to who we really are, waking up to why we're here. This is a call to action, right? This is a summons from your own soul that says, let's be done with whatever we've been doing, right? Maybe with sort of wandering or the drifting around. And there was a time where we thought that was going to be our life, that maybe we were somebody that wasn't supposed to have a purpose, And I think that we are getting inspired by something. And we're focusing on love, right? When love is the focus, we're body, heart, and soul, body, heart, mind, we're ready and we're committed. I think you're kind of getting inspired for the new destination. We're plugging the coordinates in and we're ready to get going, okay? So the challenge here, I think, is to let go of the past and move forward, right? To focus on love and not focus on, well, what we have here, the Three of Swords. Well, we need to kind of focus on it for a minute anyway. This is the position of your soul, right? This is a position of something underneath the surface that is affecting you, limiting you, holding you back in certain ways. The Three of Swords is a card of memory. The Three of Swords is a card of sorrow, okay? That there's something from the past that you are still, I was going to say that you're holding on to, but no, it's holding on to you. Something from the past that's still holding on to you, that's kind of preventing us from moving forward into the next phase or the next chapter of life. Could be an Aries person that's very close to you, or was very close to you, or is still attached to you somewhere in your past. This is a card of karma. It's a knot of karma that we need to untie. This is something in you that is, in a way, sabotaging you. It's something that needs to be addressed and unraveled if we are going to have the closure that we need for this past segment of life, and to have the courage then to step into the future. Okay. This is a card of kind of a preoccupation. Yeah, there's something that we've been reliving. There's something that is still, it's like an anchor. It's still tied to us, and it's still making it very difficult for us to move forward where we need to go. This could be all sorts of things. We don't really need to go into the details of this. But it seems like something preventing us from really feeling the way we want to feel in life. Having romance, having laughter, having family, having fun, having, a really positive and happy experience. There's something that seems, there's a dark spot, a sore spot, or there's a tangle of wires somewhere in you. And Spirit is asking you, your own soul is asking you to look at that, to find out what's blocking us from moving forward and getting busy doing the work we're meant to do in life. Really making more progress in our lives. Okay, so it brings us around to position 4. It's very interesting to have a court card back here. I guess it's not so surprising though. This is the dwarf position. It uncovers the karma, the patterns from the past that are still holding you back. This is literally like the person that is sort of, you're still entangled with. Maybe an Aries person, maybe an older male, maybe a fire sign person generally. Okay? This is something that is, this person's energy is still affecting you, still tied to you. We need to realize that and let that go if we're going to move forward and build something new. It could be that you're in the middle of building something new, right? You have the builder card, the Prince of Pentacles up there. It could be that we're in the middle of building something new, but this energy, this person's energy is still tied to you, preventing you from really experiencing the possibilities of your current project, right? Or your current relationship. Is there a past relationship with this person that is affecting your current relationship? Is this person reaching out to you? I feel like somebody probably reached out to you recently, or there was some reminder of this particular person, okay? Or something that, brought their energy back up again for you. Yeah. And this, again, it's kind of an old thing. It's a past event that's still echoing in your present. And to me, it feels like this was maybe a short-lived relationship. It happened quickly. It began quickly, ended quickly. Very fiery. This is kind of a double fire energy here. And it may be something that since that ended, we kind of feel like it just sort of, it threw us into a tailspin, or it threw us for a loop, or we kind of like, we're still sort of drifting in the aftermath of that, even though we're trying to kind of build our life and move on and do the things we need to do and live our life and that sort of thing. I don't know why this person has such a strong hold on you, or why the relationship did, okay? But I feel that there is something recently that's been going on. Maybe they've reached out to you. I'm getting a T name, the letter T, first or last initial. And again, maybe an older male, maybe a fire sign person. Okay. And there's something preventing us from moving forward past that. Maybe this was, a very passionate relationship, and maybe it ended very quickly, and we still have that karmic tie to that person. Yeah. The next card is the Giant. This is what's looming real large in your life right now. It's the Builder. It's the Prince of Pentacles. The dominant motivation. This is your personal virtue. This is the Builder, right? You are empowered to build your life. I think you are in the process of building your empire, building your family, building your business, your career, your future. You're putting things together. in a major way, right? But yet there's something that's preventing you from really feeling like, this is my thing, I belong here, or feeling good about it, or feeling that we can sort of release ourselves into this and enjoy it fully. Okay, something that's still kind of clawing at your heels as you're trying to move forward and build something. You're the type of person that is, I think that you do let go of the past, and you do try to live in the present. But I think lately you've been finding yourself connected to that person, that previous person. Maybe this is you trying to build a new relationship, but we find that we're still a little bit connected to that past person. Maybe you're trying to build your new business or your new home, but there's still something kind of unconsciously tying you to the old business or the old house or the old, thing that you were doing. I believe there's the older male person that's involved with that in some way. And it may be romantic, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. The idea is that whatever happened in that situation is preventing you from really moving forward the way you need to right now. Okay? But this is the strength that we're embodying right now. This is the card that's focused on the present. I'm trying to build something in my present life. I have ambition, I have creativity, right? We're of service, we're showing up, we're reliable. I think you're known as a very reliable person. You're there physically. You're physically present, doing what you need to do, but mentally or emotionally feels like you're still tied to the past, you see. And that's going to take us to our future position, which is position 6. The imago, the next steps or the future events, the immediate consequences of your actions, and the shape of things to come. And this shape is the pyramid shape, right? The strongest structure in the universe. Embrace the power of the pyramid, right? But this card is talking about the blood, sweat, and tears. It's talking about the body, heart, and the mind all needing to be present for something to actually work. If you're here physically doing the physical work, okay, good. But mentally, emotionally, you're checked out. Things aren't going to happen. Things aren't going to be what they could be. Things are not going to take off, right? I kind of look at this card as the drone and these little fans, right? They all have to be spinning together, working together in harmony. And if they're all spinning at the same RPM, that drone's going to lift off perfectly. But if one or the other of these fans decide that they're not paying attention, the thing's going to flop right over. Okay? So whatever you're working on now is not going to really be as successful as it should be, because there is a part of you, body, heart, or mind, that is not really in it. That's kind of like reminiscing about the past or karmically tied to something of the past, needing to let go of that in order to be fully present and let's get this thing off the ground. If this is the relationship, the family, or the business, or all of these things, this tie to this karmic tie to this past person is preventing you from building up your business or building up your family or pursuing whatever your goals are. Okay. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent now. And as we do this, of course, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. These readings are totally free. Yeah. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, your persona is position 7. It's the Fool, right? This is how we are presenting ourselves to other people in the greater theater of life. And this might be an image that we're projecting. Someone who is very much in the present, has no ties to the past, carefree, has no karmic ties, has no anchors, right? I don't know if this is very accurate right now. It may be accurate in the sense that the Fool is unsure of their direction. The Fool is just kind of almost a feather in the wind, just kind of goes wherever the wind blows. Rather than having a straightforward purpose, I have commitment, body, heart, and mind, my entire soul and spirit is on this path, and I'm in this with my entire being. The Fool is just kind of like drifting a little bit, yeah. So it might be accurate in that sense. But as the as the costume that we're wearing right now in the greater theater of life, this seems to be a nonchalance or a detachment that isn't really there. We may be presenting this image that I'm not tied to the past, I don't care about that person, I don't care about that situation, that doesn't mean anything to me, that's not affecting me in any way, but we see that it is. We see that it is because of these cards, this card, this card, this card, right? And so it seems to me that the Fool persona right now is not necessarily as true as we might be kind of as we want to believe. Okay, we can say it that way. It's kind of a performance, right? But the next card, the Seven of Pentacles, is in the position of the environment. It's in the position of your relationships. It is your current relationship with either with yourself or with another person, with a romantic partner, with a friend, with the business, with your work, with your life. Something's not working. It's a card of failure, right? This is the card of a Seven of Pentacles. It's a card of seeds that we've planted that they're just not growing. Well, why? Well, because one or the other of the required components of your blood, sweat, and tears are not there. One of these fans aren't spinning, and so this thing is flopping over. Okay? And so we're realizing that this event, this state of things, something not working out, something that seems like it may be experiencing a little bit of dysfunction or friction, right, is really making you acutely aware of this thing over here, right, this karmic tie. And so when we have these kinds of, this kind of karma, or we can call them complexes, when these are active and present in our life, they operate under the surface. They manifest in our lives. When something like this is happening in our external world, that's when we get a glimpse of this. Otherwise, this is hidden from us. When this is operating under the surface, we find dysfunction and friction in our lives. These two positions in the dove and serpent spread are intimately connected, as are these two. The frustration of the Five of Wands is indicating that in our attempt to build our life, we're finding more and more frustration, more and more friction, more and more fighting, right? That we seem like we're getting, we're sort of coming apart at the seams a little bit. Things are kind of unraveling a little bit, right? So these two cards are connected, these two cards are connected. And the only way that you can recognize this kind of karmic knot or this complex is through its manifestations. So this is something going on under the surface, and this is the way it's playing out for you in real life. Okay, so when we experience something like this, where is it in our life right now that we feel like one of our relationships are kind of failing, or that are not growing as they should, let's say, are not as lush, right, as they could be. When we identify where this is, we can see how there are things under the surface that are playing out, other programs, other complexes, all this karma that's playing out. Okay. And it's really indicative that, okay, there's something in me that is karmically tied to this past person, preventing me from being all in with this current thing, and then I'm experiencing more of this. The same way in all of our attempts to build our life, we see here with the next card that this is the specter, position 9, the fear, worry, concern kind of thing, is that it's getting less and less easy for me to operate this way. Things seem to be getting harder. There seems to be like more fighting. It doesn't seem like my relationship is getting better, that we're starting, that maybe it hasn't been working out so well, but things are improving. This is saying, it doesn't matter how hard I work, things seem like they're just getting worse. It feels like we're fighting more than we used to, right? And so this is another sort of symptom, right? This is something that we're experiencing. I'm trying to build my life. I'm showing up every day. I'm doing the work. Why does it feel like things are getting more and more difficult, more and more challenging? Okay. Well, it's the same reason that that this unconscious complex or karmic knot is manifesting as failed or dysfunctional or relationships that are kind of failing to thrive. And it doesn't have to be relationships with romantic partners, okay? That's not the only relationship we have, you know. So we have relationships with ourselves, with the world, with plants, animals, people, with friends, with family members, with romantic partners, with ideas, you know. So we have to identify where some of those relationships don't seem to be working out, or also through our history, where have we experienced the same type of relationship over and over and over again? What are the patterns that seem to be repeating? Maybe that you're in the middle of one right now and we're thinking that, gosh, here I am going through the same situation again. Like I just got out of a very similar thing and now here I am again. Why is that? There's something going on under the surface. And that this older male, this fiery older male energy, this may be from a long time ago. This may be a father figure. This may be a paternal energy in your life. It doesn't mean that this is the last relationship you had. But this is a relationship in your past that is repeating itself in your current situation. And it's something that's karmically tied to you. And it's affecting your experience of what you're trying to do in your life right now. Okay? And it may be, because we have that fire connection, it may be that this was a very volatile relationship. That this may have been someone that was very unpredictable. It may have been a relationship with a caregiver or just with a romantic partner from somewhere in the past. That was a very kind of dominating or domineering person. That was not very forgiving. That was not very courteous to you, right? To put it mildly. And it's sort of it's bringing up a lot of these sort of anger qualities, frustrated energies. The final card is the Eight of Cups. It's the position of the destiny, shows the outcome of our journey, the projected events on our quest, right? And to me, this feels like we're ready to pull ourselves out of a swamp here. Yeah. And this is revealing our the shape of ourselves right now. And this is kind of like, no, I'm not just this kind of happy-go-lucky, fool energy right now. I'm actually feeling some type of way. Yeah. Kind of looking at the glass as half empty here, and it's, I need to do something about that. So it feels like sometimes life is a bit hopeless, that we're trying to hold on to what little happiness we have, or pleasure, or good feelings, whatever kind of water energy we have, whatever kind of love we have. But it feels like our vessel is cracked and broken, and the beauty and the life and the vitality and the love is draining out. And we desperately try to patch this up. Put some bubble gum in the boat, right, so it doesn't leak, doesn't take on water, right? But sometimes we put the bubble gum in one hole, just like in the cartoons. You put the bubble gum on one hole and another hole opens up. And so you have one piece of bubble gum and you're just trying to you're moving it from one hole to the next, trying to plug it up. Till we finally realize that, hey, there's something wrong with my boat. I'm in need of some healing here. Okay, I'm in need of figuring out what the source of this complex or this karmic tie is, and healing that aspect of myself so that I can get on from an 8 to a 9 of cups, right? 9 of cups is the happiness. And this is kind of like, I realize that I'm not happy, and I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to do something about it, okay? I'm going to do something about it. This is not a state that is sustainable. This is something that's looping back in on itself. You know, it's kind of like your boat's filling up with water just as fast as you're bailing the water out. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, right? Eventually you're going to get exhausted and you're going to slow down and then your boat's going to sink. So that's kind of like the perpetual energy. It's that figure 8, the looping back in that we talk about. The more we try to, address our present situation, the more it kind of seems like it's deteriorating. Well, because there is something else going on under the surface there, okay? So to fulfill our highest potential, we have to kind of realize what state we're in. And we have to understand the conditions of the boat, and we have to understand how we might be trying to bail out the water of the boat or whatever, or using the bubble gum to plug the holes, but there's just too many holes and not enough bubble gum. Yeah. Let's look at position 11, the mystery card. This is the guide. Reveals your higher self, your inner teacher, the deepest wisdom. It shows the character qualities that you must develop in order to walk the path ahead. What do we think it's going to be? I think it's going to be a card of healing. I think it's going to be a 6 of Cups. It's going to be a 3 of Cups, a 2 of Cups. It's going to be the Empress, maybe the Hermit. Maybe the Hermit. Let's see what we have. The 8 of Swords. What we have to realize is that we are not helpless and hopeless. We have an 8 and an 8. That we're not powerless here. That we are not, see, this is a knot of karma, right? This is a tangle of wires. And we feel like we can't get out of this. No, you can get out of this. We've got to open our eyes and realize that, okay, the means of escape is right here around me. It's kind of like with the 8 of Swords, see, it looks like the means of escape are the very things that are imprisoning you. Okay? And so, in other words, we have to be able to recognize that the trouble we feel in life, the negative emotions, the difficult situations, the challenging relationship that we have right now, that's the means of figuring this out. We have to understand that that particular dynamic is teaching you what the problem is and teaching you the solution to the problem. Okay. It's not always easy to see that. But this card is definitely trying to express to you that we have to believe that we can feel better about life, that we can progress through the challenges and overcome this karma. We have to believe that it's possible. We don't really want to overthink it. See, the 8 and the 8. To me, this feels helpless and hopeless. But the realization is that we're not. Even though maybe we feel that way. Maybe we're out here in the universe card and we're drifting through space and we just think, that's it. That's just, whatever I try to do, it feels like the universe is pushing the opposite way. Right? So it kind of feels like this is almost a surrender, almost a pessimism. Because if we're helpless and hopeless, it feels like the universe is against us. It feels like the universe is a hostile place. I can't defeat the universe, I'm just one person. Might as well just give up. That's not the case. There's something preventing us from activating all the bliss and the blessings of the universe right now, and that's our past karma. And again, that older male energy is something that we have to recognize. Doesn't mean we have to go and confront the person or anything like that. Maybe the opposite. Maybe we have to find some way to symbolically end that, close that, find the conclusion, find the closure within ourselves that will allow us to take our power back and improve our lives. Yeah. So the 8 of Swords is a reminder that you are not trapped in this situation. It looks like this person is kind of tied up, right, bound and hoodwinked. It's like you're wrapped in toilet paper, though. It's not that tight. You can get out of that. We have to recognize that all we have to do is choose to do it, and we do it. Yeah. Now, let the lessons of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation, alternating between who you're becoming and the world you're creating. Remember, the tarot does not dictate your destiny. It reveals the pattern of possibilities. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your path in any way, please share your reflections down below. Together we journey onward, ever upward and ever inward. And we do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner, and there's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Virgo on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.